So, in many of my videos, a lot of atheists comment this: Jesus never existed. Period. That's it. Not much of a defense. But in this episode, we are going to look at if we know Jesus truly existed and how do we know if someone existed. Sources that were written about the person or the event. And in this episode, we are going to look at sources outside the Bible that talk about Jesus, showing that he truly exists. First, the Roman historian and politician Tacitus. Writing around 116 AD, this Roman historian and senator mentioned that the founder of the Christian movement, Jesus, which he referred to as Christos, was executed by the Roman governor Pontius Pilate during the reign of Tiberius. Tacitus documents the presence of Christians in Rome shortly after. Pliny the Younger, the Roman governor of Bithynia, wrote a letter to Emperor Trajan around AD 112. He sought advice on how to treat Christians, noting that they would gather to sing hymns to Christ as to a god. They lived highly moral lives and refused to worship Roman deities. Flavius Josephus, a 1st century Jewish historian, Josephus wrote the Antiquities of the Jews around 93 AD. He famously recorded that Jesus was a wise man, performed miracles, taught many, was condemned to the cross by Pilate, and his followers maintained their beliefs. Josephus also makes a separate reference to the execution of James, the brother of Jesus, who is called the Christ. Now, what's interesting is I have this book actually, right here, and it's a big book, as you see, a lot of Roman history in that, and yes, including Jesus. Jesus is talked about in that book, and Josephus talks about Jesus being condemned to the cross, being condemned and crucified on the cross. This is a good defense against Jehovah's Witnesses who believe that Jesus was crucified on a stake. A lot of times they'll have no evidence, and they will say that you just have to believe, you just have to have faith. Well, you can show them this book or mention it, Josephus, and he talks about Jesus being crucified on a cross. Early Greek and Syrian writer Mara bar Serapion, a Syrian philosopher writing a letter to his son from prison sometime after 73 AD. He encourages the pursuit of wisdom and compares the unjust deaths of Jesus, whom he refers to as the King of the Jews, noting the destruction of the Jewish nation that followed. And lastly, Lucian Samosata, a 2nd century Greek satirist. Lucian mocked Christians around 166 AD. Despite his mocking, he corroborates that Jesus was and is a historic figure. So, there you go. If someone comes up to you next time and says Jesus never existed, show them evidence, show them proof of these writings of these historians talking about Jesus, and these are writings of people outside the Bible. This is really good evidence to show someone that, hey, if you don't believe in the Bible, there's proof even outside the Bible.